Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And this one, I'm really going to review a beloved childhood favorite. For me, not only for me, but not only for me though, but also for my brother as well. And this one is, I would say it was a masterpiece back then when it came out, and it's still a masterpiece today. The Lion King. The Platinum Edition, and one second. There you go. But to put the thing on, because the show that the original cover opens up like this, just to show. So the Lion King released in the summer, June 15th, 1994, and today is June 15th, so I figure why review on the anniversary. Well, last year was in 2014. It would be the 20th anniversary, but this one now 21st anniversary. Still, The Lion King. I still love it. I still love the film to death. This is still considered one of the best Disney films, of its time though, and still considered one of the best ones ever made. Still, and probably, if no, considered one of the best films of all time, though, but on a list. Not the best film of all time, but one of them, in general. This is the film that a lot of people who, like me, who grew up, back in the day, and watched this film, when it came, well, sadly, I never saw it in theater because I was too young, when it came out, But watching on the old VHS, still classic masterpiece, I mean, what can I say about The Lion King, And like I said, this is the Platinum Edition, 2-disc edition. So like it opens up, there's in here, the hard front cover, and opens up, shows, with a feature as both the disc, has the little symbol, that Rafiki drew of Simba in the film, Like a disc 1 special edition, a special edition, it features a song that was not in the original version, including the original theatrical release. Some games on the disc 1, music video, Circle of Life, or in the original, Can You Feel the Love Tonight music video, sing-along track, which I remember watching on my old Winnie the Pooh tapes. It shows the previews of the old Disney sing-along tapes. I remember seeing The Lion King on one of them. Deleted scenes and the making of, Morning Report. On disc 2, Timon and Pumbaa's Virtual Safari. That's another game. Behind the scenes footage, character design, computer animation, African art inspiration. Exclusive interviews with Sir Elton John and Sir Tim Rice, the music and songwriters. The Lion King music videos, African influence, and Disney animals. To learn about more of the animals, and story making magic. So it does have a lot of features for both 2-disc edition, and also what it looks like inside, But Lion King, what can I say about Lion King? It's a masterpiece, and it's a pure classic. I mean, the directors, one of them is Roger Allers, and the other one is Rob Minkoff. And I mostly know I'm more familiar with director Rob Minkoff because he's directed some other films. He directed he directed Disney's the live action version of The Haunted Mansion, which I think I've heard that the Disney attraction, He directed the live action version of it, and I think I've heard they're going to do another reboot of that. He also directed the Forbidden Kingdom, the film with Jackie Chan and Jet Li, you know. And he also recently, you know, his like if you really his most recent one last year, he directed the DreamWorks animated film Mr. Peabody and Sherman. So, one of the co-directors of this film, Rob Minkoff, helped uh, direct Mr. Peabody and Sherman, The Forbidden Kingdom, and The Haunted Mansion. And then I know he directed another film, which I forget though, but those three films, you know. Um, absolutely love this. Not only the songs, but the score by Hans Zimmer, which I think is I think it's one of my opinion is one of his best scores. One of them. You know, I like his scores to a lot of films, especially ones I like his scores to the Madagascar films and or the live action films. I like his score to Inception. I really do enjoy Inception. I like his score to that film. Interstellar. He's done countless scores on a lot of films, you know. But I'm just naming a few, you know, especially those recent ones with Interstellar and Inception, you know. But this to me this is was one of his best scores, you know, because I've heard this a lot growing up as a kid, you know. And especially me and my brother as well, you know. Me and my brother just will watch this and for hours and not get tired of it, you know. Even also we also had the separate the soundtrack separate, listen to the songs and the scores, you know. Well, especially the songs, you know. So yeah, just love the score by Hans Zimmer. Love the voice cast of the film. Memorable voice casting. And even the songs are memorable as well, you know. And when it came out in the summer 1994, was a huge hit on a budget of $45 million. Was a huge hit. Became the highest-grossing film of 1994. Behind The Lion King was Forrest Gump. I love Forrest Gump. You know, that was the second highest-grossing film. Both the top two films, but Lion King was the highest-grossing one. Forrest Gump made over $600 million, and this made with its original release, it made 700 and I believe 80-something million. You know, 86 million, 85, 86. And then it got like an IMAX re-release back in 2002. You know, and then back in 2011 they re-released it in 3D, which I went and saw when it came out in 2011. The re-release in 3D. You know, I saw that. Had a great time watching it. You know, because I said when I watched it before. Sadly, I never saw this in the theater when it first came out because I was too young. You know, to watch it. You know. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. I was just way too young just to go see a movie, you know. But seeing the first time on the big screen when it came out when it was released back in 2011, really loved it. I could see why the film looks such a masterpiece on screen, you know. And it made a big opening when it came out during the re-release in September 2011. Made like 30-some million. Made a big opening on that day, and then it was #1 again on its second week with 21, I believe, million. It made a lot of money when its re-release in 3D, you know, and that brought up to overall the film has now made, it came close to make $1 billion. It made 987 million over 987 million, so it came very close to make $1 billion, you know. And I would have liked to see that, you know. But this is because this film, I would say, Amazon deserve to make $1 billion, you know. Which personally I think it should have made the money. It should have made the money that during its re-release, it should have made the money to help make over $1 billion up to the money how much Frozen has made. Don't get me wrong, I like Frozen though, but I think I think this should have made end up making the amount of money that Frozen did, you know. But nevertheless, it came close. So the fact that it came close to made $1 billion by making 987 million, very good, you know. Especially during when it was re-released in 3D and back in 2011. I said before. Had a great time seeing it for the first time in theater. And then after that, you know, it came out with a sequel. Well, direct-to-video sequels, you know. It came out The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, that was released in 1998. And then another direct-to-video, which was, like I said, looking up, it was like a prequel / parallel. Looking up, The Lion King 1.5, which focuses like most of the story on Timon, you know. And then a television series called a standalone series on Timon and Pumbaa, and then one called The Lion Guard, you know. And then it caused it to make, you know, a Broadway musical, a live Broadway musical, you know. I was never a fan of plays, you know. I never cared for plays, you know. I mean, a long time ago when I think it was the first time when they got a live version of Broadway musical. I saw was younger and I saw once, but never cared for it. I'm just not a fan of plays, you know. I'm just not, you know. I just prefer watching this instead. Get more entertainment out of it. And then it won. I thought it won the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, and 2 Academy Awards for its, you know. And it's the third highest grossing animated film behind oh no. No, it is. I think it is the highest grossing traditional animated film, meaning this kind of animation without the CG version like Toy Story or Monsters Inc. You know. This is the fourth. No, it's the fourth highest grossing animated film behind Frozen. No. It's the third. It's the third film. It's behind Frozen and Toy Story 3. But traditional animation like this quality, highest grossing of animated movie of that kind though. So yeah, opening up, it opens up with the Pride lands in Africa. You know, all the animals gathering to Pride Rock. You know, King Mufasa, voiced by James Earl Jones, who I absolutely love as Mufasa. Him and his wife, they have a son, Simba. The old wise Babu, Rafiki, you know, Coles, and of course the one of the famous scenes holding him up in the air, you know, like right there. With the sunlight, you know, all the animals bowing down. They have the song, "The Circle of Life," you know, by Tim Rice. Yeah, I just want to, yeah, by Tim Rice though, and then which Elton John sang that version of "Circle of Life" during the end credits, you know. But and then next it shows the credit, the opening title. Then it shows another memorable Disney villain, Scar, Mufasa's brother, voiced by Jeremy Irons. You know, he's like about to eat a mouse, and then Zazu, you know, voiced by Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, you know. Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson as Zazu, you know. Didn't your mother tell you not to play with your food? And he's like, oh, so look, you did. Now you made me miss my lunch, you know. And then he's like, oh, I hate, and Zazu says, oh, I hate with respect what the king does to you. And Scar's like, ooh, I quiver with fear, you know. And then goes and you know, grabs Zazu, has him in his mouth, and Mufasa goes like, Scar, let him go, you know. It's like impeccable timing, sire, you know. And he's like, Mufasa says, you were not at the presentation of Simba. He's like, oh, that was today? Oh, I feel terrible, and scratches his claws against the rock, you know, like the noise of nails on a chalkboard, you know. Must have slipped my mind, you know. Jeremy Ryan's excellent, top-notch job. He was one of his best roles, you know. Even my brother would hands down say that was his best role, you know. But Jeremy Ryan did an excellent job as Scar, you know. Sorry, excuse me. Talking so much, you know. I was just eating a pretzel, you know. So excuse me for that. Um, so then, the show's no Rafiki, making up, this on the tree, and a picture of young Simba, Then Simba is now a little bit older, as a kid, a little kid, and he's voiced by Jonathan Taylor Thomas, which he's mostly memorably known as voicing young Simba, but he also everyone ever knows he plays in he's mostly also memorable playing in the old TV show Home Improvement with Tim Allen, one of the three kids, that he has. Home Improvement, he's like he was like the middle child, I think he was. See, he's also memorable playing this show Home Improvement, and also memorable playing the voice of young Simba. I also saw him in another movie called it was an adventure film with him and it was two brothers called Wild America. Where they go around to, like this around the land and filming different animals. I remember seeing him in that. So him and his dad, they go sit on top of Pride Rock, look at the sunset. It's like, look, Simba, everything the light touches is our kingdom, and warns him about the place where he should not go to, called the Badlands, And then they're walking some more, and Zazu comes in. This is where you get the song that was not in the original version, called "The Morning Report." This is the Morning Report. So you got that. That was on the original versions. It's on here. He gets warned. He gets a warning that there's hyenas. So Mufasa goes, and Simba heads back home. Talks with Scar. Saying how he's gonna be king of Pride Rock, and Scar's like, oh goody, and he's like, hey Scar, when I'm king, Uncle Scar, when I'm king, what will that make you be? And he's like, a monkey's uncle. I was like, huh, you're so weird, But then it goes, anyone knows, even knows the story of Lion King, Scar purposely spits out, a place, called the place, where no one goes, called an elephant graveyard, We all know, if anyone's ever seen it, we all know that he deliberately said that on purpose, So he wants to go there, takes his friend Nala, and but Zazu makes sure he goes with him, and then Zazu's like, oh, let's do talking, He's like, it's also like one day you two are going to be married, and he's like, no, And then Simba talks like, oh, when he's king, he has to, Zazu has to take orders from him. Leads to another memorable song, probably all kids enjoyed, the memorable song, I just can't wait to be king, Very memorable song. Compared to like the sing-along, once again, say the sing-alongs to Frozen, the songs in Frozen have no imprint of the memorable songs back in the day, especially when The Lion King came out, or the other sing-along songs, of the old Disney films, like The Jungle Book or The Aristocats, or what was the other one? The Little Mermaid had like one or two songs, But if there's any Disney films that does sing-alongs today, they won't even touch on the songs back in the day, especially like The Lion King, So they managed to, but anyway, getting back, Simba and Nala managed to give Zazu the slip, they get into the elephant graveyard, and it's like, wow, this is a great, and then Zazu catches up with him again, saying we should not be here, and then Simba goes, I laughed in the face of danger, ha ha ha. Then there's laughter. Also memorable characters. You have the hyenas, the three hyenas, Bonsai, Shanzi, and Ed. Shanzi voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. Bonsai voiced by Cheech Marin. you know, they're taunting, they taunted them, they said they're gonna eat them, they run away. Well, like Bizazu gets grabs, like, oh, little bird, just walking to the um what was it, the little hot spot there, like, oh no, not boiled, what was that when they were like, I forget what it was, but it goes shoots out, and so it was like, hey, why don't you pick on someone your own size? And Chance was like you. He goes, oops. They run away, some more, and they get to a dead end. They try to climb up, but they can't. Like Simba tries to like roar at them, but then um, Mufasa comes in, pins him down. He's like, if you ever come near my son again, and they're like, oh, that's your son? I didn't know who was. I didn't know he was your son. He's like, do you know? No. And they both go, Ed. He's like, shakes his head. They run off, and Mufasa is upset, and he wants to talk to his son alone. It's like, you deliberately disobeyed me, and he said, I was just trying to be brave just like you, He's like, I'm only brave when I have to be. Just because you're brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble, And so, but he said you're not, you were not scared of anything. But he says, I was scared. I thought I was gonna lose you, And they have the more father son bond. They look at the stars, And then once again another memorable scene, when the old caves or whatever, the hyenas are talking about how they hate Mufasa. Then Scar is, we all know that he was working with them, saying that he's discussing the plan how they're going to plan to kill Mufasa. It's another great villain song, be prepared, be prepared. That's another memorable song, especially for a villain song, of the Disney films, Jeremy Irons did a great job, All the cast did a great job, but for a villain, Jeremy Irons was a great villain as Scar. So the next day, Scar's plan was to leave Simba right there on this certain spot, inside this deep canyon, and as he goes off, the hyenas, they plan to chase all the wildebeest, causing a stampede, and Simba's right in the middle of it. Hopefully, maybe he'll get trampled, whatever. So he runs, gets stuck in this tree. Scar goes and says Simba's in trouble. So Mufasa goes down there, and he gets hit. He gets hit, and especially also you're hearing this Hans Zimmer score. He's like oh, Mufasa catches Simba. He puts him on a ledge, and he gets taken though, and Simba is looking for him, and he leaps up into the rocks trying to climb up. And of course, this also leads to another memorable scene, probably also a memorable Disney death, also a sad, dark death as well. Mufasa's telling him to help, ask Scar, trying to help him up, and Scar just grabs him roughly and says, "Long live the king," just throws him off, falls to his death. Simba seeing that, so he goes down there, finds his son, finds his father, tries to wake him up, but he's not. Scar says, he tells that he blames Simba that it was all his fault, and tells Simba to, run away, Simba, run away and never return. So he goes and tells Hyenas to kill him. Then he runs up and runs up off this edge, towards these thorns, and the hyenas, Bonsai, is like, says, whoa, tries to slow him down. The two hyenas just push him into the thorns. It's like, ow, ow, they're laughing at him, Hey, there he goes. Well, go get him. No way, I'm going in there. Well, you want me coming out looking like you, cactus butt? No, but thinking that don't need to go get him because they're thinking if he goes off into the desert, he's gonna die anyway. So they just leave him to the desert to kill him, And if you ever come back, we'll kill ya, So the night, Scar tells that Mufasa is dead, and Simba is dead as well, So all the hyenas, they all move in, and Scar declares himself as king, and then shows Simba lying in the middle of the desert. Vultures are gonna come in, but then Timon and Pumbaa come in, scare away the vultures. They see him lying there. Pumbaa saying that can we keep him? So they take him, to throw some water in his face to wake him up, and Simba, he's all depressed, and feeling the guilt of what happened, feeling with the guilt of what happened, and he doesn't want to talk about it, but plays another great memorable song, Timon and Pumbaa, singing the song Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata, ain't no passion craze, which means no worries, And then they show them how gets to eat, how they have to eat, somebody has to eat like them, but eating all these bugs, And then it shows, time is passed on, and Simba is now older, and now older Simba is now is voiced by Matthew Broderick, Matthew Broderick, especially starring in that film right there, Godzilla, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Project X, War Games. Great, fantastic job as Simba, and basically, and shows that Simba is pretty much like almost like forgotten who he was, because of Hakuna Matata, and once where they're lined up looking at the stars, something like hit some thinks of something, but and he's like, he feels like back to being sad again, and then it gets to one of the controversies, which I don't care about, Of course, everybody makes the big deal that all those, those Disney, some of those Disney controversies, like when Simba goes to this edge and sends them some flowers, and these petals and dust, they all fly into the wind, Of course, one of the controversies, when they said the thing that it spelled, those subliminal messages, that when the stuff, it's when it goes off to the wind, it spells out the word sex. Yes, yeah, I know. Saying why the word bothers me, especially if we're saying this in a Disney film, Is it what it is, which I don't care about those subliminal messages, I just brush them off, But thing is, though, why do they have to do this with these subliminal messages in Disney films? Why? For what reason? Well, from what I'm reading right here, it was originally it was supposed to spell SFX, for special effect, for the technical the words for special effects, But it was supposed to be an F, not an E, I don't care. Well, if it was done by accident, if it was supposed to originally spell the word SFX, meaning for the word special effects, I can let that go, If it was an accident, I can let that go as well. But I don't know. Well, yes, I probably do understand why it's such a big, shit fit for word for all. Basically, for that word, for all these subliminal messages in these Disney films, Like I know another one with the Little Mermaid on the front poster, or the old VHS cover, But I'm not getting to that because it's a freaking stupid anyway, And yeah, so if that was if it's deliberately done on purpose, then just I don't just want to say just all I can say is ignore the subliminal messages and just if you like and get entertained by the film, those films, just ignore the subliminal messages and just forget about them, okay? To me, with me with those subliminal messages, I just brush them off as like okay, all right, whatever. That's for a different subject, but not for during watching a classic masterpiece like this film, Just brush it off and just keep on watching. Just forget about those stupid subliminal messages, It's stupid anyway, They should not be in there in the first place. Especially when kids are watching, Well, if they don't know what it is, that's fine. If they don't understand what it is, that's fine. Because if there's certain kids, they don't know what that is, But I just want to say that because, you know, the subliminal messages are stupid anyway, you know. I just bother me, does it bother me just like about this much? Yeah, it does, because they should not be in there in the first place. It's stupid, you know. So anyway, yeah, and then what also another thing back in Pride Rock, which now Scar's basically has now turned this wonderful Greenland into a wasteland. You know, everything's dead. You know, plants are dead. Everything. Ozzy was in a small cage, which is made out of a bone cage, and the space nuts for him to just go up and fly out. You know, and Scar wants him to sing a song. And there's an instance like, "It's a small world after all." He's like, "No, no, no, anything but that." You know. Of course, the Disney song, "It's a Small World After All," you know. Um, and then Rafiki, you know, finds that the stuff that the dust and petal of flower stuff, you know, the dust, you know, grabs the stuff, you know, and he's like that has this thing, you know, where you can tell what's happened, you know. He knows that Simba's live, now he's grown up, you know. And then Timon and Pumbaa, they're off by themselves. Pumbaa goes off on his own because to follow this little bug, and then one of the lions, which is Nala grown up, chases after him, you know, and he's like, "It was a Pumbaa. What's happening? She's gonna eat me!" You know, it's like, whoa. Oh, what do I have? You know. Oh, if I forgot to mention, Timon is voiced by Nathan Lane. If I forgot to mention that name, Nathan Lane also did a good job as Timon. He's like, "Whoa, why do I always have to save your?" And he screams, "Ah!" Which is another joke, you know, have to save your ass, you know, indicating though. But it's like, why do I have to save your ah? You know. And then Simba first have a scuffle with Nala, but he didn't know who she was, so until she realized that's Nala when she pins him down, you know, because this is where like when they were little kids, you know, when they get into the bone graveyard, Nala pinned him down twice now, and he remembers that, you know, and he is introduced tells Nala that's him, you know, and they're like, "Oh, how long has it been?" You know, and Timon's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" You know, it's like, "Timon, this is Nala. She's my friend," you know. And Nala tells, you know, what's happening back at Pride Rock, Scar's king, you know, and everyone thinks you're dead, but now you're the king, you know. And Simba, he says that he does not want to be king, you know. He's put the past behind him, you know. Um, and then at least and they want to go and they go off on their own with each other alone, and then they listen to the song, you know. Can you feel the love tonight, you know? And then after the song's over, they both talk, you know, and she wants him to come back though, but Simba is still feeling guilty about what happened to his father, you know, and they get into an argument, and he runs off, and he looks at this guy's, you know, he said you'd always be there for me, but you're not. Then Rafiki comes in, and Simba's getting annoyed by him, and tells him, you know, that he knows his face, like, you know, I'm not the one who's confused. You are confused. You don't know who you are, you know. And you know, he's like, I says, you don't know who I am. He's like, oh, of course you are. You are Mufasa's boy. Bye. You know, and he said he knows your father, and he's saying that his father died, and Rafiki's like, nope, wrong again. So he chases after him, you know, saying that he is alive. Goes to this little pond. First, it looks as if he sees his own reflection, but Rafiki says, no, look harder. And then the water ripples and shows Mufasa's image, and it's like, he lives in you, you know. Then the sky, you know, the clouds shape into Mufasa, like his spirit talking to him, you know. And um, Mufasa telling him, you know, remember who you are, you know. It's like, you've forgotten about me? No, but you need to remember who you are. You are the king, you know. Just remember him, you know. Um, and to take his remember there was another line. Remember who you are and take your place in the Pride Lands, as king, that was the line he said. And then he goes and disappears, um, and now Simba realizes what he has to do now, and he says he has to go and face his past, and goes, he's been running away for all his life, and Rafiki goes and smacks him on the head with his stick. It's like, what was that for, And Rafiki's like, it doesn't matter, it is in the past, That was a fine line. It's like, it doesn't matter, it's in the past, Yeah, but it still hurts, but the past can hurt you, But if you either run from it or learn from it, what do? First, I'm gonna take your stick, throws it, No, not the stick. Hey, where are you going? I'm going back, And Vicky, screams, yay, whatever. And then, Nala wakes Timon and Pumbaa, like, first scares him, Then, Rafiki tells him, you won't find him here. The king has returned. So, shows Simba walking across the sands, and he comes to his home, and everything's all in ruins. Everything is all like one big wasteland, And Nala, Timon, and Pumbaa there, saying, well, Simba says, well, we're here with you to the end. And they want to help create a diversion from the hyenas, and Timon and Pumbaa, ask us live bait, and Simba's like, what, you want me to dress up and do the hula? In which he does, diversion. And then Simba sees, Scar talking to his mother, Sarabi, that's what the name is, Simba's mother. Tells her telling him there's no more food left, and it says that we either die here, we'll die here or starve, and Scar's like, so be it. He's like, you can't do that. I'm the king, I can do whatever I want, and goes and smacks her, and he's like, I'm 10 times the better king than Mufasa was, and then Simba comes in, he's like, which Scar thought it was Mufasa, like, Mufasa, no, you're dead, But, and then everyone knows that he's alive, and Scar's like, Simba, how nice to see you. Alive, and looks at the three hyenas, knowing that they didn't do their job, And then Scar goes and tells, that he's no longer king. He's gonna step in, that Simba's the rightful king. But then Scar goes and brings up, about losing his father. He tells everyone that they don't know who was responsible for Mufasa's death, and Simba goes, I am, And says, his mother goes, like, it's not true, But he says that, he goes and says yes, though, and Scar's like, so he admits it. No, it was an accident, And he says, oh, Simba, you're in trouble again. But this time, Daddy's not here to save you, and everyone knows why. And Simba falls into the edge of the Pride Rock, and lightning strikes the dry stuff, sets the whole place on fire, And Simba is still hanging on, and Scar's like, oh yes, this is exactly how your father looked before he died, And here's my little secret. I killed Mufasa. And then, angered, Simba jumps up and pins him down. It's like, no! Murderer! I would have thought it was like that. He goes and jumps up in anger, and goes and shouts out, murderer! And makes Scar confess to everyone that he killed Mufasa. All the hyenas start piling up on him. All the lionesses, they hit him away, and Timon and Pumbaa jump in. And then Rafiki, comes in, hits a couple of Banzai and a Shenzai, chase Timon into where the cage where Zazu still is, and then Timon, I don't know, Pumbaa comes in, and Fonzie says, "Hey, who's the pig?" And it's like, "Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?" And Timon's like, "Shouldn't have called him the pig. Now they're in for it. They call me Mr. Pig. Ah!" And Simba sees Scar run up. They run up all the way to the top of Pride Rock, call him murderer, And then Scar starts blaming the hyenas. That was their idea, They're the enemies, But Simba doesn't buy it not one bit, Says that he's not gonna kill him, and tells the same thing that he told Simba once, run away, Scar, and never return. And then Scar goes and hits some of this hot stuff into Simba's eyes, and they fight, they something like in slow mo, hit back and forth. And as Scar goes about to leap and strike him, Simba kicks him off the ledge, but he's still alive. And the hyenas comes like, "Oh, my friends," and it's like, "Friends? I thought we were we were the enemy. Is that what you heard?" "Yeah, that's what I heard." And they both go, "Ed?" And all the other hyenas, they gang up on him. It cuts, to as they corner him, it shows up to his shadow, and all the hyenas jump on him. The flames, cover it up, That's another memorable death as well, for a villain, and all the rain douses the flames, and then Simba, Rafiki, points, this is his time, to take his father's place as the king of Pride Rock, and especially the Hans Zimmer score as he's walking up Pride Rock, and his father's spirit says, "Remember," and he roars, and all the lions roar, and then everything goes back to wide shot of the landscape of Pride Rock. Everything grows green again. All the animals are back, and then the score, once again, the Circle of Life, comes in at the end, and just like the beginning of the first film, Simba and Nala is a child in the hands of Rafiki, raises their child up, and ends again showing the title of Lion King. And during the end credits, then you have the Circle of Life played by Elton John. And can you feel the love tonight? I'm just looking up what the awards it won. It was the Lion King received 4 Golden Globe and Academy Award nominations. It won 2 Golden Globes for Best Motion Picture or Comedy. It won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, and for Best Original Score, And it's like like Beauty and the Beast, it didn't win though, but Beauty and the Beast was the first film to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, And this film won the Golden. Well, that was Academy Award. This film won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, Musical or Comedy. It deserves it. Best Original Score, it deserves it. And it won 2 Academy Award for Best Original Score by Hans Zimmer, it deserves it. And for Best Original Song, Can You Feel the Love Tonight by Elton John and Tim Rice, and it deserves it. I love the song. I love the song of the Circle of Life in the movie, but also by Teensy Bit More, I love the song by Elton, the one that's sang by Elton John, But don't get me wrong, I like both versions of the song, And also the song Hakuna Matata was also nominated as well, I just what can I say about The Lion King? It's a masterpiece. It's a classic, Love the excellent score, not excellent, memorable songs, classic memorable songs. Voice cast, great voice casting. They all did such a great job, Matthew Broderick as Simba, great job, excellent job. Even Jonathan Taylor Thomas as young Simba did a great job. James Earl Jones, memorable as Mufasa. Jeremy Irons, also memorable voice as the voice. Memorable voice as the classic villain of Scar, Scar, very classic villain, and also memorable villain as well, you know, especially for a Disney film, you know. Other voice cast is more Moira Kelly as Nala. She was good as well. Nathan Lane as Timon was great. Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, you know, as Zazu, great. um, Ernie Sabella as Pumbaa, great. Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin as Shenzi and Banzai, great. Ed is voiced by Jim Cummings, who's done countless voice work, you know, on various different movies and TV shows, you know. Madge Sinclair as Sarabi, Simba's mother, was good as also. Just great voice casting, memorable voice casting, you know. This film will always be remembered as a masterpiece and a classic of its time, you know. And the film still is, at least in my opinion, you know. And also to my brother as well, you know. We both can just watch this over and over again, not get tired of it, you know. This is the one Disney favorite that me and my brother always loved watching, you know. One of the best Disney films we always enjoyed watching, especially for our childhood, you know. I'm sure also for a lot of kids like my age used to be, you know, all those years ago, used to love watching this growing up, you know. It's just such a, that's what I can say. It's such a masterpiece and such a classic, you know. No matter how many Disney animated films of today, no matter how good they are, which I do enjoy though, you know, it still won't be not as like masterpiece material or classic material as the ones done back in the day, especially The Lion King, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, or the old ones back in the day, you know, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, The Jungle Book, Aristocats, Fox and the Hound, Pinocchio, Dumbo, you know. The films back in the day, even the films that came out, early ones came out in the 80s and 90s, you know, or 70s, or all those other old days, you know, for those Disney animated films of today won't get the titles classic or masterpiece in the realm of these great Disney films, you know. And like I said, no matter how good they are, which I like Wreck-It Ralph, I like Frozen, I like Tangled, I like Brave, what was the other Disney film that came out? Well, the new upcoming one, Inside Out. I'm interested to see, you know. But there was another anime film I forgot about, you know. Oh well, but those anime films, you know. No, it won't be considered as this classic. The word classic or masterpiece is not as the titles these ones deserve, you know. And then the sequel, I like the sequel. I think it was a good sequel, you know. Simba's Pride, you know, I think it was a good sequel, you know. Not the best, but very good sequel though. At least in my opinion. Lion King 1.5. I'm not entirely sure on, you know. I only saw that one like once, you know, and I forgot about it, and that one I just wasn't that really interested, you know. The Lion King 1.5 though. Although I did see a couple of episodes of the show Timon and Pumbaa, but I was not the biggest fan though. I only saw like a few episodes though. Wasn't really of my interest though. But Lion King, what more can I say on it? You know, it's a classic. It's a masterpiece. You know, considered one of the best Disney films of all time, or if not on the list, one of the best films of all time. Because Even like what this one says, even like it says right here, you know, one of the best movies ever, you know. I would consider it as one of the best movies ever, but it's not the best. It's on the list of one of the best films of all time. But I would consider it's one of the best, also one of the best Walt Disney animated films of all time, you know. Classic, you know. It's on for 88 minutes. Fast, it goes at a very fast pace. It's not boring whatsoever. Memorable score by Hans Zimmer, one of his best ones. Memorable songs, you know. Memorable characters, memorable villains. Just memorable of a lot of things, you know. This one I put this as one of my best, one of my best favorite Disney or slash animated films of all time, you know. I think when I did that last year, I did put this on my list of one of the best anime films of all time, you know, when I did that video, you know. And what I don't know, what more can I say about The Lion King, you know? And I'm now almost like 51 minutes, almost an hour in, you know, but why not, you know? It's a film that deserves a long review, you know. Especially for such a very classic animated film, you know. Just once again, looking at the inside of this, you know, I like this, how it opens up like this, you know. But only for a cover, you know, a slip-on cover, you know, for the DVD, but also comes with, you know, like this. I like this open to show the features of the two discs, you know. And I'm glad I got to see it in theater when it came out on September in September 2011 when it did the re-release in 3D, you know. I'm glad it was #1 for 2 weeks, you know. Like I remember an article on Box Office Mojo, you know. The title of the article, you know, Lion King reclaims box office crown, you know. Made a lot of money during its re-release, you know. It deserves it. It came close to making almost $1 billion, you know. Overall, 987 million. It deserves that, you know. But part of me wishes that it could have made like we switched places with Frozen, you know. But it's done and done, you know. And then of course, like I told us about this before, after the success The Lion King had in its 3D re-release, they planned on some other films, you know, like Beauty and the Beast got re-released, you know. It didn't make that much money though, but it managed to make it over 424 million, I think it was. And then they re-released Finding Nemo, and then Monsters Inc. Those didn't make much money though. And which also they re-released Star Wars Episode 1 in 3D, Titanic, you know, for its 100th anniversary, you know, the sinking of the Titanic, and also the 3D re-release of Jurassic Park for its 20th anniversary, you know. Which I'm glad I saw, seeing Jurassic Park, my all-time favorite film, you know, on the big screen. But since those ones, the 3D re-releases weren't made for that much money, planned other films are planned for 3D re-releases like The Little Mermaid and Star Wars Episode 2 and 3, and also Independence Day as well. They all got shelved, you know, and they're never gonna happen again, you know. Which is too bad. I would like to said before. I would like to see The Little Mermaid on the first time on the big screen, you know, for its 3D re-release, you know. But since those other Disney films didn't make that much money during its 3D re-release, they got shelved, you know, which is too bad. Well, I would not see. I would rather see the Little Mermaid in re-release, not Star Wars 1, 2, or 3, because I hate those prequel trilogies. So, yeah. But I'm glad I saw this when it came out in this 3D re-release, you know, back in September 2011. You know, I'm glad I saw it. You know, it deserves to make all that money. You know, but that's all I have to say about it. thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. And like I said, I didn't. Anyone, if anyone's ever seen The Lion, if anyone who has not seen The Lion King, I don't know whoever has been, or have been, hiding under a rock, but if anyone who's not seen The Lion King, I would highly advise check out The Lion King. If anyone today has not yet seen The Lion King, but I assume like all the kids, who grew up watching this film, it's like pretty much almost seen by almost everybody. I never heard one person who has not seen this film. Well, around here. But Lion King ended here on a good note, by saying it's a classic and it's a masterpiece, and it always will be, and it'll always be one of the most classic animated / Walt Disney films of all time, It always will be, and never will. I mean, not never will. It always will be, and it'll never will go out of style. Basically, it'll never be dated at all, So thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next, especially for right now for its 21st anniversary. Well, it's over. I wanted to do it for a 20th anniversary last year, but I didn't do it though. So yeah, 21st anniversary. So my review of the 21st anniversary of The Lion King. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.